What really hurts the most in this story, the kids didn't just lose a home, they lost their cats. And this wasn't just a passing moment of sadness. The kids were devastated. They cried for they kept asking where Milo and Oxy went. One child said they wished they had done something to stop it. These weren't just animals, they were their comfort, their stability, and in many ways, their emotional support in an already chaotic home. Losing them was like losing a piece of themselves, and they're still carrying that pain even now. Milo and Oxy weren't just pets. They were part of the Jenkins family for over 2 years. The kids were attached to them. They loved them. But when things got hard, Stephanie and Jude tossed them out like trash. And those kids, they are still not okay. They're still sad, still hurt, still asking where their fur babies went. All while Stephanie is online talking about how she needs new content ideas, not about how to get her kids help, not about how to bring peace in their lives, but about what to post on TikTok next. The kids never forgot their cat. Let's not pretend the kids just moved on. These kids are cramped in a one-room motel with barely enough space to breathe, sharing that room with 5 siblings and 2 adults. And even in that tiny stressful space, they still talk about Milo and Oxy. They still miss them. One of the children reportedly asked why they had to leave behind and said they hoped the cats were warm somewhere. Another was seen curled up on a thin motel mattress crying, whispering Milo's name. These small heartbreaking moments show just how deeply the loss affected them. Their mom? She said if Ju hadn't dipped out, she might have brought the cats to the motel. But let's be honest, this motel is already a disaster for the kids. Overcrowded, noisy, and emotionally draining. The children are crammed in with no privacy, no quiet, no space to breathe. They have been filmed crying, clearly overwhelmed, and showing signs of deep emotional exhaustion. The youngest one appears restless, irritable, and confused, while the older ones seem withdrawn and tense. Bringing cats into that chaos wouldn't have helped anyone. It would have just added more stress for everyone involved, especially for the kids who are already struggling in silence. Can you imagine that? 7 people and 2 animals in one room? The cats would have been trapped, stressed, and neglected all over again. But here's the truth. Those cats were already neglected. Even in the apartment, Milo had untreated infections, fleas, open skin, and what looked like chemical or hot water burns. His body was weak, his fur patchy, and his health was failing. That didn't happen overnight. That was long-term neglect. And Stephanie still had the nerve to say she misses them.
There's been a lot of discourse lately with the resilient Jenkins stuff, but this is the one thing that people haven't talked about is the fact that those kids never got closure with the loss of their pets. They have seemed to manage to lose their apartment, all their stuff, and their pets in a matter of months. And even for an adult, that would be soul crushing. Just imagine for a child. Like, if you are rehoming a pet, at least you get closure, like saying goodbye, you're finding a family that's going to take care of them. Like, you're leaving them behind knowing that at least someone's going to look after them. Those cats were thrown out, and those kids never got closure with that. Because I doubt that she told them, like, oh yeah, we're just going to toss them outside and they're going to be perfectly fine and fending for themselves. Like, no, those kids probably worried about those cats, especially if she told them what she told us, that they're going to be like indoor, outdoor, and that she's going to figure something out, and then last minute she just couldn't. And then not to mention the emotional roller coaster those kids probably went through, thinking that things were improving because they were getting stuff from their wish list, and finally being like, finally I have stuff of my own, maybe next I'll get a space of my own, and the next thing you know, their storage unit gets auctioned off. And those kids are told that they're going to put their stuff in storage because they're going to get it later. All their new stuff, they're gonna get it later, and then they'll never see that stuff again. They lost it.
Thankfully, Milo and Oxy got out. Shailene rescued them and gave them a second chance, something their former owners never offered. When she first met Milo, he was just skin and bones with no fur on his back. His skin was raw, irritated and patchy from fleas, allergies, and untreated infections, and what appeared to be hot water or chemical burns.
So there's the kitty. So I'm gonna see if I can get her. See if she will trust me enough to grab her. There she is. Hi, kitty. Hi. Oh, poor baby. You are so thin. Come here. Okay, let me see if she's gonna let me grab her. Hi. Oh, I want to cry so bad. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi. It's okay. I just want to pet you. Hi. It's okay. And I got her, you guys. Hopefully it'll be okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
The vet warned that Milo's fur might never grow back fully, but Shailene wasn't worried about appearances. She only cared about healing his body and soul. She bathed him gently, brushed him daily, applied medicine, and made sure he felt safe. Day by day, his fur came back, soft, full, and shiny. He started purring again. He began to follow Shailene from room to room, nudging her hand for love, curling into her lap, and lying beside her like he finally plays now, stretching in the sun, acting like a kitten who never knew pain. His transformation is nothing short of a miracle. Oxy took longer to heal, not physically, but emotionally. He didn't have the visible injuries Milo did, but his trauma ran deep. He was shut down, frozen, and fearful. For weeks, he wouldn't make a sound. He wouldn't eat unless he was completely alone. Every moment made him flinch, but Shailene was patient. She sat near him without touching, talked to him gently, and gave him space. Slowly, Oxy crept out from behind furniture. The first time he let her pet him, just a soft brush down his back, she cried. It was a sign of trust. Since then, Oxy has bloomed. He lounges by windows, purrs when she enters the room, and seeks out gentle attention. He even plays, chasing shadows and batting at strings. The fear in his eyes is gone. Both cats now have everything they were denied before: clean litter boxes, high-quality food, their own cozy beds, and an environment filled with safety and love. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. Milo and Oxy are no longer afterthoughts. They are loved, cared for, and treated like the family members they always were meant.
Do you guys remember how the resilient Jenkins left their cats outside right before they got evicted? This is Shailene, and she saved the resilient Jenkins cat, Milo. This is how Shailene found Milo right outside the apartment that the resilient Jenkins were living in. And as you can see, he is missing a lot of hair. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Stephanie used to talk about how they had fleas and they could not get rid of them. And I mean, it got so bad that you can see the cat's hair is literally coming off. Milo has his own room. His own room. It even has a TV. And you can see his hair is growing back as well. And with the help of TikTok, Shailene was able to take care of Milo's vet needs. And he's on the road to recovery. A lot of people were saying that a neighbor saw Stephanie throw hot water to keep the cats from coming back in the apartment. I don't know how true that is. But I will say in the beginning of the videos that Shailene was showing of the cat when she went to go find Milo, it did look like he had burns on him. But again, I'm not 100% sure. And I'm so happy to see that somebody is taking care of Milo.
The community that saved them. Shailene didn't do it alone. When she shared her story, the community stepped up in a way that was nothing short of. Donations came in through GoFundMe and Amazon wishlists. People sent food, medical supplies, flea treatments, grooming items, pet beds, and toys. It was a full show of compassion and outrage. They weren't just helping the cats, they were helping to right a terrible wrong. Thanks to this overwhelming support, Shailene was able to enroll both cats in a full-year vet care plan, giving them unlimited access to professional medical care. That meant regular checkups, emergency visits, and preventive care. No delays, no excuses. Milo and Oxy now have what every pet deserves: health security and unconditional love. They are safe, supported, and treated with dignity every single day. something Stephanie never managed to provide, not even at the bare. Meanwhile, Stephanie was crying on TikTok begging for help, but her wish list? It told a different story. It was filled with luxury home items, makeup, beauty products, not one flea treatment, not a single item for the cat's well-being. She had the platform, she had the audience, she had the power to do right by those animals, but she chose herself every time, and that, more than anything, shows where her priority. The kids watched it all fall apart. Let's go back to the eviction. When Stephanie and Jude dragged the cats outside, there was no compassion. Milo tried to come back into the apartment. Video shows him crawling at the door, meowing, confused and scared. Jude grabbed him with force and threw him out again like he was trash. Stephanie stood by and watched. She didn't flinch, didn't speak up, didn't try to stop it. Her silence said it all.
There's only one thing that I'm not seeing a ton of people talking about, and that is that the cat was found in the moving video. I feel like we just need to bring a little bit more attention to this. So if you slow down the video, because Stephanie made this video super fast, you will see that the cat actually comes in the door. I'll show you the video in a second. The cat comes in the door, it's seen here, and then Drew actually picks it up and throws it back outside. Now, a lot of people aren't talking about this. It's the one thing that stuck out to me. Essentially, we knew they were going to be evicted. We knew that they were getting the U-Haul. We knew they were going to the hotels. None of that is a surprise. Is it a disappointment? Yes. I want to talk about the cats. The reason that I'm having an issue with this is because Stephanie herself said that these cats were outdoor cats, that they have no desire to be inside, they want to go outside. But I want to ask this. If a cat wanted to be outside, why is it rushing at the door? Why is it waiting at the door? And what does this mean for the cats? Because she said that she called animal control, but then she went onto Facebook, she made a post saying, if somebody actually wants to take the cats, I'll let you take the cats. And then I don't think anybody obviously came forward to take the cats. And so my question is, did they just roll off and leave their cats abandoned at this apartment? I'm gonna show the clip here. Down there at the door, you see the little cat in the little in between his legs. Then the cat comes forward, is inside the house, kind of scurrying, and then he boots the cat back out. I know that we are not surprised by this, but I want to hear what you guys think about this. I genuinely cannot believe that she would even allow that part of the video in her moving video, knowing that people are picking apart her videos with a fine-tooth comb. This is devastating.
And it wasn't like nobody offered help. People like Sophie McAllister reached out multiple times offering to adopt the cats, even begging for a chance to take them in. Stephanie ignored the messages, left them unread, and never followed. She didn't even call animal control to properly surrender the animal. Instead, she went online and claimed they were outdoor cats who didn't want to live indoors. But the truth? Milo literally fought to come back home. That video of him scratching and crying at the door is all the proof anyone needs. These weren't stray cats. They were beloved animals, terrified, abandoned, and rejected. Neighbors later reported even more disturbing behavior. Someone allegedly threw hot water at the cats to keep them away from the building. They were seen shivering in corners, trying to hide, scared for their lives. Meanwhile, inside, the kids were being beaten by Milo and Oxy's untreated infestations were affecting the children's health, and still, no vet care. No action, just complete neglect and indifference from the very people who claimed to love them. Legal consequences finally came. Eventually, Stephanie was cited not once, but 3 times for animal abandonment. They weren't just routine warnings, they were legal confirmations of what thousands of viewers had already witnessed online. What she did to Milo and Oxy wasn't just wrong, it was inhumane. The authorities officially recognized the neglect, and while they did take action by banning her from owning pets for 2 years, let's be real, 2 years doesn't begin to reflect the level of damage she caused. 2 years of owning pets doesn't erase 2 years of untreated infections, flea infestations, emotional neglect, and violent eviction of animals that once trusted her. She tried to dodge the consequences, blaming animal control and insisting that the cats were just strays.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So we received 3 citations for the cats that we quote-unquote abandoned. And I wanted to just kind of go over that a little bit. So when I went and talked to the animal control lady, I kind of just ran this theory by her. From a logical point of view, like, we don't have anything to do with these cats at this point. We can't find resources. The resources and people who have reached out to me haven't been legitimate about it, because let's be honest, you weren't serious about helping until it could bring clout to you. Beside that point, I let her know, like, these are strays that we brought in and we took care of them to the best of our abilities. At this point, we just can't take them with us, and we're letting them back out. And another thing that I mentioned was that this community, this apartment complex, there's a ton of stray cats. There's a lot. And everybody in that apartment complex puts food out. We all just took our turns taking care of the cats out there. None of the cats out there were skinny, scrawny strays. You go in that apartment complex, look at all of them running around. They all look like they belong to someone, but they were all freaking strays. Anyways, so I said, we can't keep them. We have to let them back out. Are we really held accountable for these cats that we can't keep anymore? And she said, technically, no. If it was a stray you took in and you're letting them back out into the wild, that's not on you. So why I have 2 citations for 2 strays, I don't know. Conscious, I completely understand. She was my baby, and it breaks my freaking heart that I don't have her. It breaks my heart that we don't have any of our cats. Honestly, every day, it's been... We miss the heck out of our cats. We look at our pictures of them all the time. We kept some of their toys and things. It wasn't easy to have to do that. And come on, man. You try to understand if you haven't been there. There's people who do understand, and those are the people that relate to us. So take with it what you will. I miss our cats. I never would have made that choice if I didn't freaking have to. And now we've gonna pay some.
But anyone with common sense and a heart knows better. The law is clear. If you house animals for more than 2 years, they are no longer strays. You are their owner. You are responsible. And Stephanie didn't just neglect that responsibility. She ran from it. She discarded them when they were most vulnerable, and then spun the narrative to paint herself as the one who was abandoned. The victim card only works when you haven't made a habit of being there. Her actions were deliberate. Her neglect was sustained. Her lies were public. And those 3 citations, that was the system saying, we saw it, we believe it, and it's not okay. Honestly, even that felt like the bare minimum, because no amount of legal punishment can undo the trauma those animals endured, or the message her behavior sends to her audience, that you can mistreat animals, cry on camera, and still keep filming the next day like nothing happened. Stephanie's lies and lazy excuses. Now Stephanie wants to shift blame. She says they were stray cats. She says animal control said it was fine. She even accused Shailene of keeping the cats out of clout. That woman stepped in when no one else did. She gave Milo and Oxy a home, love, and life-saving care, things Stephanie never bothered to provide. While Shailene was spending her own money, creating Amazon wish lists tailored to the cat's specific needs and driving them to vet appointments, Stephanie was busy painting herself as a victim online. And now, instead of showing gratitude or accountability, she is throwing around baseless accusations about clout chasing. The irony is loud and painful and insulting to everyone who truly cared. Stephanie also cried on live about how broke she was, claiming she had no money for flea treatment. But when it came time to show what really mattered, her Amazon wishlist spoke louder than her tears. Not a single flea collar, no food, no medicine, no bedding for the animals she claimed to love. Instead, it was stacked with beauty products, home decor, and other non-essential items, things that benefited her, not the cats. She had every chance to make things right for those cats. People were ready to help. All she had to do was ask for what they needed. But she didn't, because it was never about the cat. It was always about her image, her attention, her performance. The cats were just props in her storyline, and when they no longer fit the narrative, she pushed them out and never looked back. That's not just selfish, it's cruel. Kids deserve better than this. Stephanie has filmed everything. Her kids crying, like the time her child was visibly upset on camera, wiping away tears in a motel bed with no privacy, her fights with Drew, her breakdowns. But the one thing she doesn't film is her actually taking steps to improve their life. No job search, no school prep, no proof of growth. There is never a clip of her filling out applications or researching schools for her kids. No footage of her packing lunches, budgeting for school supplies, or even having calm, reassuring conversations with her children. It's always chaos, always cries. And now, she's taking a break to figure out content. Meanwhile, her kids are going back to school soon, and she doesn't seem to have any plan for supplies, clothes, or long-term house. There is no sign of her preparing them emotionally or financially for what's next. All she wants is a new idea for TikTok. Her energy is going into thumbnails and engagement, not textbooks. And instead of creating content that helps her kids or build a better future, she exploits their pain for views. She records their cries, their struggles, their discomfort, and turns it into content. One child was even seen pleading off camera saying they didn't want it anymore. But the phone stayed on. It's not about growth, it's about performance. Her kids deserve privacy, support, and peace, but all they're getting is exposure. The only ones who made it out. The saddest part of this entire story, the only ones who got a real happy ending are the cats. Milo and Oxy are living proof that leaving Stephanie and Drew was the best thing that ever happened to them. They escaped the chaos, the noise, the neglect, and found warmth, safety, and unconditional love. Their lives transformed completely because someone stepped up when their owners failed them. They were the lucky ones. The kids, they are still stuck in that one motel room, still sleeping on floors and sharing cramped beds. They are still asking why their pets had to leave and when things will finally feel normal again. They are still watching their pain be turned into content. These children aren't just suffering, they are being forgotten. While the cats got a new life, the kids are left behind in the same storm, still longing for peace, still waiting for someone to finally put them first. So the question is, how much longer do these kids have to live like this? How many more excuses will Stephanie make before someone finally steps in and puts their children first? When will the cycle of chaos, neglect, emotional damage, and digital exploitation finally be seen for what it is? These children have already lost so much. Their pets, their privacy, their comfort, and now, slowly but surely, their sense of normalcy and their childhood. They don't laugh the way kids should. They don't play freely. They're being raised under a camera lens where pain becomes performance and survival becomes content. At what point does this go from messy internet drama to full-blown neglect? And how long will it take before the systems meant to protect children step in the way they did for the cats? Because if two cats could be seen, rescued, and healed, why are these children still waiting? Why are they still exposed online with no boundaries, no safeguards, and no sign of true protection? Let us know what you think in the comments. Should Stephanie ever be trusted with pets again, or even with the kind of platform that rewards this behavior? Should these kids still be online, their lives turned into viral moments? Do you believe real change is possible for this family, or are these children going to remain caught up in a loop of views, likes, and unresolved trauma? Like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this heartbreaking situation. And the few bright spots like Milo and Oxy who remind us that healing is possible when the right people care enough to do the hard work.